Robin Williams, always going to be remembered for his comedy and his acting talent. And now his decision to end his life on Monday. It also means that his battle with depression has become part of his story.
Well, his suicide has thrown the spotlight on mental illness and how it can affect anyone, no matter how happy they might appear to be or how successful they are.
The actor spoke openly about his depression and how he turned to alcohol to ease the fear. One of his most candid interviews was on American television in 2006.
You're standing at a precipice and you look down. There's a voice, and it's a little quiet voice that goes, jump. It's the same voice. The same voice goes, just one. There's a voice that goes, jump. And the idea of just one. And for someone who has no tolerance for it, that's not a possibility.
To talk about it as caused by something that...
Not caused by anything, it's just there. It's just, you know, it's latent, waits. It lays in wait, and for the time when you think, it's fine now, I'm okay. And then beep, and then the next thing you know, it's not okay. It's not going so well.
Was there something somebody said to you, one sentence that got through, that sailed through?
You're a drunk! No, it's like, it got through to me saying, you need help, and that's the best sentence that got through.
Family, friends, everybody?
Many people. It was, it was pretty much unanimous on that level. And then you go and you say, that's it, yeah, you're right.
How long before you decided this is it?
I don't know. It was a couple of years of just thinking I can do it on my own, and you can't. That's the bottom line. I can do this, I can stop. And you really think you can, and then you realize, I need help. And that's the operative word.
Sue Baker is the director of Time to Change, which is a group made up of organisations which aim to address mental health stigma and discrimination. Welcome Sue, we heard Robin Williams there talking to Diane Sawyer in 2006, and the tragic news yesterday that came through. What was your reaction to this?
Well, I think just complete sadness. Obviously, Robin Williams had talked openly before about his struggle with substance misuse and with depression, and that will have helped raise some awareness, but it's always just absolutely heartbreaking when somebody's struggle comes to an end, because you always want them to get through that challenge.
And seeing someone like Robin Williams, who on the face of it, it's almost like tears of a clown, isn't it? Look, just so ebullient and happy and outgoing. Everyone now knows it can happen to anyone. It's indiscriminatory, isn't it?
Yes, I hope people do realise it can happen to anyone, and the greatest riches and fames on earth and being a Hollywood A-lister does not make you immune to having mental health problems, and there are lots of them that are speaking out about depression and bipolar, which does help raise awareness, but it's also really important to say that it can affect any one of us, regardless of your circumstance. And I think for me, the tears of a clown, when I hear that, I think, do you know what, actually lots of us with depression put on strong faces, we battle through it, we get on with it. It's a way of coping, so often you won't be able to tell if somebody is struggling with depression because we want to get on with life.
It's got a lot of people talking this morning on our Facebook page. Val's written in to say people don't want to talk about it, not when they have it, not just because of the stigma, but because they can't explain it themselves, either to others or even to themselves.
Yeah, it's for some people it comes out of the blue, and it's really hard to understand why me, how did this happen. There might not be obvious triggers. For some people there are obvious triggers like trauma or financial worries or relationship breakdowns. There are known triggers for mental health problems, but for some people it's really hard to pinpoint how that happened and why that happened to them. But the really important thing is, regardless of how it's happened and how you can explain it to yourself, there is help available. We need more of it, we need more funding, so you can get it as quickly as you can go into A&E. So if you're in crisis, you should be able to get help straight away if you're in mental distress.
We're in a world of social media, and there were some comments on social media regarding Robin Williams' death. Rebecca has also got in touch saying, it's so common though, so it's a shame that people are so judgmental. Is that stigma gradually being eroded, or is it just inevitable?
We are starting to. We measure public attitudes every year, and that's a way of us seeing whether our campaign, Time to Change campaign, is working, and it is. So public attitudes are starting to shift. More people are starting to talk more openly about it, but what's really important is that those of us that experience it don't suffer discrimination, and that's what we're talking about. Recently, a few months ago, you had Megan Cox on, a young lady who had depression. She was denied a job by Emirates because she said she'd had an episode of depression, and that's the kind of thing that we need to stop, that people aren't judged for having a mental health problem unfairly. So yes, 9 out of 10 people using services who've got mental health problems say they face discrimination in at least one area of life. It's a big issue, and we've got a lot more work to do.
Okay, Sue, thank you very much for talking to us. Sue Baker there.